So this is my brief version of Google Sheets, but I want to start with as it relates to a form. So if you're in your Drive and you click on your form, the first thing you want to do is click over here to responses, or I should say the first thing you do when you finish your form. You can see I've got 31 responses. So if I click responses, you want to make sure you've clicked this little green icon so that it links a spreadsheet or a Google Sheet to your form. So once I go out of here, you can see that here's my form and here's the Google Sheet that has been linked to my form. So if I go back to my form for just a second, neat little way to see, if you click on responses, you can see a little summary of responses here. You can see individual responses and how they each answered. If I go back to my form here, go back to my sheet here, I can also go up here to form and hit show summary of responses. So this shows just a little, I don't know, a friendlier layout, a little bit easier on the eyes as far as showing you kind of what you're seeing, what your data is showing. But you also have the option, just like in Excel, I think this is a little bit better in Google Sheets because you know Google Sheets is collaborative. It gives you the ability to share with other people so that all of the people that you give the editing rights to right here have the ability to edit this document with you even at the same time. Of course, if you want to give to a bunch of people, you want to click give a shareable link and you want to change this right here and let them edit it. And if it's with your peers, of course you want to say anyone in Forsyth County, and then give them, copy that link and send it through your email. Or you can do it here and it'll show up in there shared with me. Okay, so there's neat little things you can do with this. Let's just say you want to take a portion of your data and you want to insert a chart here. It shows all the different, you can see all, or just preview all of the different charts that will show the data that you selected. So great thing, I think, for students doing research that want to prepare something for you. You can make it as small or as big. Move it around wherever they'd like to have it. Another great thing that Google Sheets offers is the ability to put formulas. Just like Excel, the ability to put formulas in a box. So if I start, your formulas need to start with an equals. And let's say I just wanted to add what's in cell C3. So it's C3 plus, let's say I want to do cell C6. And you can see right there that the sum is 8. I'm just going to hit enter. And there it is. That's got a formula in that box. And you can tell up here, here's the formula. You can copy that formula to another box. You can come down here. And the quick way would be to come up here to the function tab and just put in sum. It starts the formula for you. But let's say you wanted to do the sum of these boxes. You can see right here it's 18. Enter, there it is. Look back up here, here's the formula for that box, sum. C2 through C8 is the formula in that box. Then you've got other formulas. You've got an average formula. You've got a count formula that will count as basically you know, how many items are here. You've got a max. So if I did a max formula, say of the whole column, the max number in this column is 9. So then you've also got minimum. The minimum of this column is 0. So this is good. Okay, you've got the ability to merge cells just like in Excel. If you go up, format, and merge cells, you can merge either all or horizontally. Another thing that I think is great is, see my headers right here? If I go and scroll my document, notice that my headers move. So here is a way to freeze that so that when you're scrolling, now I have moved my bar right here. So I've frozen this top line. So now that when I scroll, that stays. So that's a good little feature as well. You can also go over here and freeze this side. So let's say you didn't want this part to move. You can freeze right there so that when you're moving across, that part stays. Okay. One thing I really like about Google Apps is that you have the ability to get add-ons. In any of the apps, you can get these add-ons. So if you go in here, and this one shows random generator, but if you go in here to get add-ons, you'll see it's like a store almost, and you can just search, shop. GMath is gives you the ability to write equations for math. I've gotten one in here called Mail Merge when I needed to merge my addresses to labels. So that was great, but lots and lots of great stuff in here, and every Google app has the ability to get add-ons. Another thing inside Google Sheets is the ability to continue patterns. So let's say if I took this data right here, and you can tell that it's going up by an interval of 1. If you highlight that and then this little square right here and just drag this square down, it's going to continue that pattern. So that makes life a little bit easier inside a document. But let's say you just want to continue the 17. You just highlight that cell, drag it down, and now you've repeated the 17. Another thing that's good that I really like is conditional formatting. So let's say that you've made a form and you walk around and you're trying to do an observation on your kids, maybe a formative, and you want to just quickly enter into that form how your students are doing, and you want to just quickly put in a 1, 2, 3, or a 4 on how they did, and then you want it to feed the spreadsheet, and then you want the spreadsheet to color code. A lot of us like color coding. So let's say I'm going to go in here, I'm going to click my column, going to go data and validation, data validation. No, I'm sorry, that's not what this one is. We're going to go conditional formatting. So we're going to go format, conditional formatting. And up here, let's say we're going to tell the cells in column C that we want the text to be less than or equal to, let's say you had numerical averages here, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say you wanted to do less than or equal to, let's do 4. Less than or equal to 4 is going to be this defaulted green color, and done. So now all of my cells that have less than or equal to 4 are that green color. I'm going to add a new rule, and let's say I'll put in something exactly, text is exactly a 5. If it's exactly a 5, I'm going to change it to this yellow color. Alright, so now I've got it nice and color coded. I want to add one more, and I want it to be greater than or equal to 6. I'm going to have that be this color. So now you can kind of see how you can color code your spreadsheet, and even in your form feeding this spreadsheet, you can have your sheet determine the color of the cell based on this conditional formatting. So this is one of my favorite things here. Another thing inside a Google Sheet that's a good little feature is the data validation. So if you come in here and you select from a list of items, and then you're going to enter your responses or their choices inside that cell. You got to separate them by a comma, and then you save it. And then inside that cell, you're going to see this little drop-down arrow so that they have a choice to choose either yes or no. Just a quick another thing to make it easy for you entering your data, or for your peers to enter their data. If you want to make a copy of this, and again, this is just like any of the Google apps too, you can go File, make yourself a copy. If you make a copy, you know it's going to show copy of, and it's going to be a different copy than it will not be shared with the same people that the original document is shared with. So just know, if you make a copy, that's a totally different copy. I had a little bit of a confusion with that at the beginning of the year as well. So that's just sort of my down and dirty version of Google Sheets.